Hey folks, today I will be creating my first infinity bottle. So join me as I pull out a bunch of whiskey, mix them together, and see how it turns out. If you don't know me, you probably do. I love whiskey. And if you're watching this, you probably do too. So you might have heard of the idea of an infinity bottle, but if you haven't, don't worry, I'll break it down for you. But first, if you've made your own infinity bottle, let me know down below in the comments what whiskeys you've added, but especially if you have any tips for me. This is my first one, and I'm going to start small. An infinity bottle is a personalized blend of whiskeys made by combining various whiskeys you already own, and the appeal is huge, especially if you built up a diverse collection, because you get to experiment with flavors and create something that can't be bought in a store. And for those of us who love sharing our whiskey, it's a great conversation starter, and who am I kidding? We all like to talk about our whiskey. Some people approach the infinity bottle as a way to pour in the last ounce or two of a bottle. Others do it to blend and dilute bottles they're not necessarily the most keen on. Whatever the case, half of the fun is that it's a bottle that evolves over time. Every pour you add changes the mix, and that mystery is part of the magic. Last year, I reviewed Odd Society's The Boneyard, which follows a similar idea. I'll link that review here for you. But every time they bottle a batch, they leave some behind, blending it with the next round. The result is a whiskey that continuously shifts in profile. Think of an infinity bottle as your own personal version of that, except you are the master blender. But enough talking, now to the fun part. Okay, bottles are out. First up, we have maple. There's actually only a little bit left in here, so I'm going to empty this out, clean up the bottle, and put back 1 ounce. I'll save the rest, maybe I'll drink that tonight. Maple is sweet. It's a luscious Canadian whiskey aged in ex-bourbon barrels that previously were also maple syrup barrels. Okay, here we go. Bottle is nice and clean. Let's add back in the maple. There we go. Next, after that, we're going to do the Sexton, a young single malt Irish whiskey with that classic Bushmills yeastiness, if that's a word. I love this one, really approachable. And I love Bushmills, I just don't have a bottle of it right now. Then there is Doctor's Orders from Monashee Distillery, a bold bourbon-style whiskey with a peppery backbone. Here is Roe & Co., a smooth and creamy Irish blended whiskey, great for cocktails. I don't expect this will add too much nuance to the bottle, but I think it's good to get in there as a nice neutral whiskey. Next up is Naked Malt. It looks like I need to buy a new bottle of that. I love this one. It's a sherry bomb packed with red fruit and a rich malt character. Fantastic whiskey for the price, but for some, too much sherry. I think it will be a good addition to this mix. Adding a completely different tale to the story, I'm going to add Nika from the Barrel, which is rich and complex with spice and oak. Okay. I know bourbon is on short supply these days with the tariffs here in Canada, but I'm going to do this anyways. Basil Hayden. Yes, that's what's in this cool antique carafe. You'll just have to trust me on that. It's light, it's approachable, and it's green. And while I'm on a bourbon trail, I can't skip Jack Daniels, mostly because I don't love it, so let's just add it in there. Then there is J.P. Weiser's 10-year, a Canadian blended whiskey, also fantastic for the price, with a bit of oak and a bit of sweetness. And here we have Regent Road, a Canadian rye with fruitcake and apple pie. Really nice. I see there's a bit of room left, so I'm going to add a little bit of Laphroaig 10-year. For me, this is too iodine-y to drink on its own neat. I love whiskeys with a faint peat or mild smoke, but for me, this one's just too intense. But adding it to this bottle might be fantastic, so let's give it a try. So, what should I name it? I'll think about it, but for now, I'm just going to put a sticker on it. maybe some tape on the back with a reminder of what is in here. I'll write that later because I intend to keep adding to it over time, and I see I've got room for a couple more ounces. And here it is, my first infinity bottle, label and all. I hope it is a nice mix of rye, malt, bourbon, and a touch of sherry sweetness. But as always, let's give it a pour. We're looking at, I have no idea, I'll have to do some math. Let's find out. So here it is, my very first pour from an infinity bottle. Maybe 43%-ish, I'll have to do some math later, but let's give it a try. Oh, I'm spilling some. The color's dark, sort of a dark amber, and this smells nice. Malty, it's quite rich. A little bit of red fruit on there. It smells really nice. Oh, that is delicious. Even though there's only an ounce of maple out of all that, you still get that maple sweetness. You get some cinnamon and cloves from the bourbon. That maltiness from, I think, the naked malt definitely comes through. And the smoke, even from Lafroig and Nika, just a little bit of smoke. There's nice balance between sort of grainy notes, roasted notes. Really nice whiskey and sweet, but not too sweet. I'm going to drink that fast. But I'll need to write a little reminder on the back about what's in here. I might do that on tape. Let me know how you've done it, or if you keep sort of a book with notes. But this is delicious. If you've got a collection of whiskeys and you're looking for a fun way to experiment, give this a try. I think this is a neat ongoing project that makes whiskey drinking interesting in a different way. It's fun, it's experimental, and it gives you a whiskey experience you can't get anywhere else. Plus, you get to play blender and create something entirely unique to you. If you have made your own infinity bottle, I'd love to know down below what you've added in there, any tips. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Cheers, and I'll see you soon.